So, Thor Love and Thunder. I'm not gonna lie, this movie was pretty good in places and really annoying in other places. Look, let's get the good out of the way. First off, the action scenes are really good for the most part. Christian Bale's acting is definitely top tier. I'm not gonna lie to you. Christian Bale's acting is top tier. There's no doubt about it. He did his thing in this movie. So yeah, with everyone else, aside from the Valkyrie actor or actress, yeah, pretty good acting wise. As usual, Chris Hemsworth is pretty good as per usual. The plot is honestly decent, but then again, they did bring a good Thor run to the big screen, and yeah, it's pretty great for the most part. Now, let's get the bad out of the way, and there's a lot of bad. First off, Valkyrie's character and actress is very one note, and her range isn't the best. She doesn't disappear into the role like Bale does, or even the other good actors in this movie. And as usual, Marvel has no idea what to do with the character of Thor. But hey, at least he isn't a fat loser anymore. Speaking of Thor, he's still a giant idiot and doesn't know who he is, and I'm so tired of this story being told with Thor over and over again. Like seriously, the man is over 1,000 years old, but whatever, we'll get over that. And for like 90% of this damn film is nothing but a joke. I mean that in the most literal sense possible. Literally every other scene is making light of either Thor or his past, or serious themes and situations, which in a way is very tone deaf considering the situation. So yeah, it's not really a joking matter. And in similar complaints, around 90% of this film is about Thor until the ending fight scenes and the rest of the movie. Because as we know, per 2022 movie formula, the white male lead needs his female equal, who is slightly better and stronger than her male counterpart. You know, at least that's what the film is showing us. And the worst part of Thor versus Gore is the stupid Asgardian children get the power of Thor by Thor. Disney is really embracing the groomer label at this point, like there's no denying it. Between the obvious LGBTQ shit in this movie and the huge focus of children and the fully naked grown man shot in this film, it's just like, man, y'all don't even try to hide this anymore. By the way, Gore hates gods because the gods he met are assholes, and he's taking that out on all gods because of that. He's right, because every god, and I mean every god that he meets is actually a shitty child eater. Yes, even Thor. Seriously, who is writing this movie? So the weird morality of modern Hollywood continues to show itself in Disney products. Because literally, I kid you not, Gore lost his child in the past, and now he terrifies other people's children. Because, you know, that's how these writers view morality nowadays, you know, in an actual compelling story, an actual compelling villain. Like seriously, his whole thing is that he lost faith in the gods because of the loss of his daughter. So what the is this guy doing terrorizing children? Like seriously, who is writing this character? And of course, we get just a bit of shitty feminist writing with Lady Thor. Oh, I'm sorry, Mighty Thor. Because Thor and Jane was going through and going over who dumped who in a scene that drags on way too long. And Jane said that Thor left, and of course, Thor submits to his better and takes the blame for, even though, let's be real here, she wrote the damn note and she was not exactly perfect in the relationship, but as per 2022 movie logic, it is always the straight white man's fault. And by the way, Korg dies, but not really, because the director Taika Waititi has an ego the size of Olympus. So he survives, even though he should have stayed dead. It would have added some stakes to the situation, but of course, no. And by the way, Thor kills Zeus, most likely setting up Hercules, but I don't care. So back to the end fight scene and the final bait and switch. And she leads the finishing blow, like she literally lands the finishing blow on Gore and gets a statue in her honor. With Korg now meat writing Jane's glizzy for the entirety of his monologue. But at least she's dead and weirdly goes to Valhalla. Yeah, side note, why the didn't Thor just use, Mjolnir? That way, Jane would be safe from getting any weaker because of the hammer's apparent ability to sap the life force of people. And you have another powerful lightning based weapon that you are familiar with. I don't know. Look, man, there's a lot of decisions in this movie that make very little sense, and I could go through them all, but better people have done that. And honestly, I don't want to repeat myself. This movie is just really confusing. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of decisions were made where I was just kind of like, okay, the, overly transparent LGBTQ messaging throughout this movie was very apparent. And yeah, obviously at this point I'm numb to the fact that we're getting bait and switches in these freaking stories now. I'm over it. I'm kind of just done, not expecting it. It's pretty obvious that this is how Hollywood wants to tell stories now, instead of just getting us invested in the characters. So yeah, all in all, I did enjoy some aspects and a couple shots, in this movie. But again, spectacle can't make up for shitty writing and shitty storytelling. And again, this is no fault to Bale and the Hemsworth, my boy Chris Hemsworth. Like, there's no fault of the actors, nowhere near. This is purely the director and of course Kevin Feige's new feminist agenda. So yeah, we're gonna keep getting more movies like this, and of course they're going to be half-assed, and the CGI in most places they look okay, but in others, no. And also, I just don't get it. Why wasn't Gore's robes just black? Like, this movie has no effort to actually appeal to hardcore fans of the material that they're adapting whatsoever. Like, even with the Necro Sword, could you even call it the Necro Sword? I'm surprised they got away with calling it that. So that's neither here nor there. And there's just a lot of stuff in this movie where I just don't understand why they decided to go that route. Like, you want to convince us that, oh, Gore has a point, and so you make every single god out to be a total narcissistic asshat who doesn't care about his followers. And again, they even hinted that Thor eats children. So yeah, the weird morality in these Marvel movies now, they're getting really weird. It's like they're trying to make every single villain a Thanos type of character when it just doesn't work every time they try to do it. But then again, this is their freaking franchise. They're gonna keep, shitting these movies out. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the movie. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, to all the good stuff, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.